Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we're going to be checking out the ThunderCats Ultimates Panthro action figure from the folks over at Super7. Continuing our look at Wave 1, Panthro is of course another figure that we did get from Mattel, but now we're going to check out the new Super7 version to see what makes this figure different. So he does come in that same style box packaging we've seen for Super7's Ultimates figures. Since he's one of the heroes, he's got the shiny ThunderCats emblem on the front of the slipcover. And when we slide that off of the box, it fully reveals the window box there that showcases our action figure within. And you can just see all of the accessories this guy comes with. I mean, there is so much going on in there. This key looks super bent. I don't know if you guys can tell, but that thing did not get put in there very well. It is really bent. So that's going to be interesting to look at. But there's a bunch of accessories going on here. Interchangeable head. So lots of stuff that the Mattel version did not come with. So let's go ahead and get this guy pulled out of the packaging and we will get a closer look at him. All right, so we've got Panthro outside of the box, bringing in the tape measure. You can see that he is just shy of a full 7 inches tall, so he's actually a little bit shorter than what we've seen with Lion-O and Jackalman. And just like I did with those videos, we're going to start off with a comparison to the Mattel release of the exact same figure. So the Mattel releases came out 5 years ago now, which is crazy to think it's been that long. So we're going to look at these two side by side so you can see that they are in fact the same sculpt. So the molds themselves do appear to be shared between these, but the biggest differences so far have been with the paint deco. Looking at these two side by side, you'll notice that the Super7 one over here definitely has a darker tone altogether. The skin tone's a little bit darker. Looking at the eyes, like the eyes are a brighter brown on the Mattel one. They're a deeper brown on the Super7 release. And there's also like this shading technique that's a lot more prominent on the Super7 one. You can really see it in the chest there. You can see it on the arms. You don't see it quite as prominently on the Mattel release. You'll also notice that the ThunderCats logo is painted totally different on the Super7 release. The shape of the emblem is probably a little more accurate. I'm not entirely sure. It's definitely a different shape that you can see, and it's a much brighter red this time around than what was used on the Mattel one. The biggest difference here, and maybe you see it already, is with the trunks. The Mattel version's got the dark blue on the trunks, which matches the belt. The Super7 one has got light blue, which matches the straps. And this is actually incorrect. It's supposed to be dark blue like the version we got over here from Mattel. Now, the good thing is that Super7 has acknowledged that this is a mistake. And they have acknowledged that the missing paint on Jackalman is a mistake. And they've said that everybody who ordered these figures, if it was from Super7 directly or through any of the other online stores, they're going to be sending out free replacement parts along with instructions showing how to actually remove these trunks. So that's going to be interesting because these aren't typically meant to be removed. But they're going to be sending out free replacement parts for the messed up pieces. Specifically, they mentioned the unpainted piece on Jackalman and these incorrectly painted trunks on Panthro. So I'm glad that they acknowledged it. They said that the version that they approved with the factory looked correct, and then the versions that shipped from the factory are wrong. So that's obviously a bit maddening. I can totally understand that that's got to be super frustrating for them, and I definitely know that this is frustrating for fans because we've waited so long for these, and we've paid $45 a figure, so we definitely don't want these mistakes when we get them. So I believe that that's going to be showing up sometime in October or November, the replacements. But I'm going to link to the video that Super7 put up down below so you guys can check that out if you want to. For now, let's go ahead and get back to the figure itself. So, like I said, overall figure looks just like what we got with Mattel otherwise as far as the overall sculpt goes. So, if you've already got the one from 5 years ago, you pretty much know what to expect. Let's go ahead and run down the articulation on this guy if you're not familiar with that. Got that ball joint at the head so it can swivel left and right, roll all the way around. You got the joints at the shoulders that allow the arms to go outwards, forwards, and backwards, swivels at the bicep, standard joint at the elbow, single joint, swivel and hinge at the wrist there. You've got an ab crunch. It's not hindered too bad by the armor that he's wearing. That is a softer, more pliable plastic, so you can still get the ab crunch going on there. You can also swivel at the waist. You've got those ball hinges there at the thighs, so legs can go outwards. They can move forwards and backwards. Swivel at the thigh, single joint at the knee, which are very tight on this figure. He has nothing in the boot cut. I assume because of the way they sculpted his calves there, they decided not to add the boot cut. But the ankles have that same kind of ball and hinge joint there, so you can hinge forwards and backwards at the ankle, as well as rock side to side. So aside from the missing boot cut articulation that we've seen on characters like Lion-O, the articulation otherwise matches in exactly with these, and if you've been buying these figures in the past or any of the Masters of the Universe Classics figures, you pretty much know what to expect with all of that articulation. All right, so he comes with tons of accessories. First of all, we do have several interchangeable hands. You'll notice that out of the box, he's kind of got those like open clawed fingers there, like we've seen kind of with Lion-O and Jackalman already. So you can easily swap these out just by pulling the hand right out of the wrist, and you can replace that with a pair of gripping hands. Now, like Lion-O, he does come with two sets of gripping hands. You can see that the one I plugged in is a bit tighter, like the thumb is pointing downwards, while the other one is a bit more opened up, so I guess that could fit in for the various accessories depending on what you're going to use. He also comes with an interchangeable head, which is something that I do really like about these new releases because it adds a bit of a new expression to the figures. So just like we've seen with the others, we've got sort of like this angry battle face there where, you know, he's got his mouth open, showing his teeth there. So that is really nice. And it's very easy to swap that off the ball joint just like we've seen in the past. So, aside from all those interchangeable pieces, he's got a whole bunch of accessories. Let's run down some of these smaller ones here. So he's got this accessory, which is called the Thunderometer. So this is a artifact straight from the animated series. So this right here, you can fit in his gripping hands. You can see it actually does, like the gripping hands do get around it pretty well. So you can actually put that there if you would like. He does also come with the Key of Thundera. Now I showed you that this was all bent in the packaging because unfortunately mine didn't get put in the slots like it was supposed to. So it got super warped. Now it's worth noting, it's made of a very pliable plastic. So I could probably straighten this out with a little bit of work. It is a really nice shiny gold. It's got a good paint deco on there, so it's a fun little artifact. It's just a shame that mine came out of the package so warped because of the way it was placed in there. He's also got this detonator, I guess for blowing stuff up. And then since we've got Panthro ready to work on the Thunder Tank, we've got things like a wrench, and we've got a welding gun, and we've even got a pair of welding goggles. And these are fun, because look at this. They actually fit right over his head, and you can put them down over his face, and he can protect his eyes, or, maybe his future's just so bright he's got to wear shades. Oof, that was just a really bad joke. But hey, there you go. Panthro with some sweet sunglasses. And then, of course, you can't have Panthro without his nunchucks. These look just like the ones we got from Mattel. They have a very nice real metal chain that's actually nicely weighted. I always loved Panthro's nunchucks as a kid. I think that's why Panthro was my favorite. I thought he had the coolest weapon. But, you got the red paw and the blue paw there, and the gripping hands hold on to those nicely so you can get them posed. Holding onto those nunchucks. But even more fun than that is you do have the cool spinning effect again, which is really, really cool. In order to pose him with this, he does come with just the blue handle by itself. It plugs onto the little plastic peg on the bottom here, and then you can, it's probably better to even plug that into his hand first, and then we can plug the spinning effect on there, and that way it looks like he's spinning it. But I will say, man, it's a very heavy accessory, and you can see I'm having some problems here. Look at the way his wrist is just kind of flopping downwards, and it just falls off a lot. You can definitely work with it. You can get him to pose it. It's a fun accessory, but yeah, oof, it's just too heavy for the wrists. I mean, the way the hand's kind of falling over there is a bit of a shame. Alright guys, it's comparison time. Here is a look at the vintage LJN Panthro standing alongside this new release from Super7, just because I always think it's fun to show the new figures alongside their vintage counterparts, so that way you can see what to expect with this updated figure. And there you go, my friends. There is a look at the brand new Panthro from Super7's ThunderCats Ultimates toy line. So again, everything in Wave 1 is basically a reissue of what Mattel released 5 years ago, but they are including a bunch of new accessories that we didn't get before. Overall, it's a solid action figure. It's, just as solid as the one we got previously, with the biggest downfall here being the incorrectly painted trunks and, a bit of the loose joints at the wrist that makes it hard to hold up that little bonus accessory like the swiveling nunchucks, because I do think that's fun, and I wish I could hold on to it a little bit better. But I love the regular nunchucks with the metal chain. I think the figure looks great. I'm a huge fan of the Four Horsemen's work and the way that they sculpt their figures. So if you didn't already have this guy in your collection, it's still a nice figure, and Super7 is going to be sending a replacement for the trunk, so I guess that's a good thing for sure. Now, Super7 does sell their figures pre-order only, so if you missed out on the initial pre-orders, the good news is you can still order ThunderCats Ultimates figures from other stores online, such as Big Bad Toy Store and Megalopolis, both of which sell them for the same price as Super7 when they sold theirs. So I'll put the links in the video description so you can check them out for yourself. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, my friends.